There will come a moment when your standards stop being cute quotes on Instagram and start costing you something real. And in that moment, you won't be tested on what you believe. You'll be tested on what you do, because standards are cheap when they're aesthetic. They are expensive when they require action, because standards are not built on potential. They are built on patterns. And today, we're talking about what it costs and you picking up the bill. Before we go any further, make sure you're subscribed. These episodes build on each other. And if you're ready to move differently this season, you'll want access to all of them. Okay, let's get into it. Welcome back to the series Unavailable for Self-Abandonment, a series for women who are done negotiating with themselves. This is for the woman who's confident enough to disappoint, because self-trust is now the new standard. Here, confidence is more than a feeling. It's a belief formed through action, practice, and repetition. It's what you do when it would be easier to explain yourself, perform, or betray what you already know to be true for you. So if you are ready to stop abandoning yourself just to keep the peace, you are in the right place. Hey, friend. Welcome back. And I hope you're loving this series as much as I am. Ooh, friend, I've been loving it, because we cannot talk about being unavailable for self-abandonment without talking about standards. And let me be clear, this is not going to be another one of those conversations about why your standards are just way too high. No, you are a high achieving woman. You live by a high bar. You strive for excellence. So excellence being your standard, naturally, of course, you're gonna expect the best. But where we fall short is allowing that bar to get lowered by our kindness, by our empathy, and our desire to see the good in people. We start valuing someone's potential over their patterns. And that is where self-abandonment quietly begins, because potential is who they could be. Patterns are who they consistently choose to be. And standards are built on patterns. Standards require alignment with who they are consistently. And it shows you way more than potential ever will. We are stepping into the moment where self-respect becomes a behavior, not vibes, vision boards, or affirmations, but action. Listen, standards are easy when we're talking about them in theory, but it gets real when they disrupt your comfort. There is always a moment that comes when you actually have to enforce your standards. It's where you either stand or shrink. I'm going to be sharing a framework with you, because where your standards cost you something, you stand, which the S is for see the standard. T, tell the truth. A is for accept the discomfort. N is for navigate the fallout. And D is for decide in alignment. And I'm going to show you how this looks in real life. Because there was a time in my life when I said I wanted consistency. I said I wanted emotional security and reciprocity. But what I actually tolerated was just potential. Have you ever been there? You know the kind. He wasn't terrible, abusive, or even intentionally harmful. He was just inconsistent. And every time I felt the misalignment, I would just rationalize it. I'd say things like, oh, he's busy, he's figuring things out, or it's not that bad. I was too busy trying to do what Smokey's mama said in Friday, which was make it enough. But here's what I wasn't telling myself. If it's not enough for you, my love, it's not enough. The moment my standards cost me something was the moment I had to walk away from someone who wasn't awful, just not aligned. And that cost me comfort. It cost me familiarity and the illusion of almost. But what it gave me was self-trust. So let's break down what actually happens through stand. Because listen, potential is always going to try to seduce you. And when it does, you have to see the standard. Seeing the standard means identifying what pattern is actually happening, not the hope, chemistry, or when he's at his best, but the actual pattern. You are not asking, does he have potential? You're asking, is this behavior consistent? Because anybody can perform and put on a show once or for a few weeks or months, but patterns require character. Friend, potential may impress you, but patterns protect you. The T is for tell the truth. You got to tell the truth about what the pattern actually is, not what you wish it would become, not what it could be if only they just, you know how to finish that sentence way too well. But what is happening consistently? You know that friend who says he's amazing when we're together. Okay, but how often are you together? And how does he show up in between? That's the pattern. Potential is episodic. Patterns are daily. Self-respect starts when you stop grading on a curve. A is for accept the discomfort. Here's the emotional reality. It is uncomfortable to choose patterns over potential because potential feels romantic. It feels hopeful, optimistic, and generous. But here's the truth most women don't want to admit. Sometimes we hold on to potential because we don't want to start over. We don't want to be alone. We just want to be married already with 2.5 kids and the dog. But just asking for a friend, does anybody still want this? Well, feel free to insert your own personal rom-com right here. I really want to hold the space for you right here because Lord have mercy, this was me, friend. There was a time in my life when I wanted to be married more than I wanted a happy, healthy matrimony with a man God designed for me. I wanted what I wanted so bad. I wanted it more than what was truly right for me. I wanted it so bad, I didn't want to wait any longer. If you've ever been there or you're there now, please accept this virtual hug and know that there is so much more for you when you are truly ready to honor your standards. Accepting discomfort means accepting that chemistry without consistency is chaos, and chaos is not connection. I'm just going to let that sit right here. Feel free to pause if you need a moment of silence. The N is for navigate the fallout. When you choose patterns over potential, something shifts. Sometimes the relationship does need to come to an end. Sometimes the dynamics change or access is reduced. And your brain says, but what if they would have changed? See, now this is what I'm talking about right here. This is how potential tries to creep in. Girl, you may have better luck playing the slots in Vegas. If someone only becomes consistent when they feel like they're about to lose you, that's not a pattern, that's a panic response. And panic is not the same as reliability. Real alignment doesn't require a threat. It shows up steady without ultimatum, because what's built on adrenaline will always need a crisis to sustain it. And here we are at the D. Decide in alignment. This is the moment you decide I will no longer choose potential over patterns. You decide if the pattern doesn't match the standard, I move. No drama, no speeches or emotional theatrics, just alignment. And every time you do this, you build self-trust because self-trust is built when your decisions match your declared standards. This is the moment you decide that alignment matters more than attachment. Because when you operate out of misalignment, you might gain something in the short term, but what you forfeit is something in the long term. And let me just say, friend, when you settle for what is available now instead of what aligns with who you are becoming, you are picking up a bill that cost way too much. It costs you time, peace, self-trust, and it costs you capacity for what God is actually trying to send you. And the danger of misalignment is that it can look good enough, but good enough is expensive when you were called to overflow. God does not bless shrinking. He blesses alignment and the kind of love you say you want, that steady, abundant, peaceful, secure kind. That kind of love is not built on potential. It's built on pattern, character, and on alignment. You deserve the kind of love that overflows, the kind that feels like a reflection of God's love, steady, intentional, unwavering. But you cannot receive overflow if you keep settling for almost. See, this is why Brandy tried to tell us. Everybody knows almost doesn't count. Alignment requires faith. Faith that what you walk away from is not greater than what you are being prepared for. When you stand, you are not enforcing a boundary. You are honoring the promise, and that is worth the cost. Okay, friend, can I fill you in on something I had to learn the hard way? And there was a season when I understood pretty much everything about myself, and yet nothing in my life was changing. If that feels like you right now, listen, you are not stuck or broken. You are just past the point where more awareness actually helps. At this stage, insight won't move you, but decision definitely will. That pause you keep calling timing, that's the moment where self-trust gets built. That's exactly why I created the Main Character Momentum Builder, to help you move before you are ready without forcing yourself and without waiting on confidence to catch up. If you are ready to stop circling and start moving like someone who trusts herself, it's waiting for you in the show notes. Okay, friend, before you stand, you have to see clearly. And most of the time, we don't struggle with enforcing standards. We struggle with admitting what the pattern actually is. So instead of reacting emotionally, we're going to respond strategically. Because queens don't argue with patterns, they audit them. This self-love two-step is called the pattern audit. This one is the grown woman kind of work, okay? Step 1, audit the pattern. Pick one relationship or situation and ask, what is the repeated behavior? How often does it occur? And how do I consistently feel? Patterns are factual. Step 2, adjust to the pattern. Instead of asking them to change your response. This is such a crucial step, friend. Please don't pass this. If the pattern is inconsistency, reduce access. If the pattern is disrespect, withdraw availability. If the pattern is emotional immaturity, stop over-explaining. Boundaries respond to patterns. They do not argue with them. This two-step matters so much because what you tolerate repeatedly becomes what you normalize. And what you normalize becomes what you build your life around. If you misread the pattern, you misalign your future. And not that you can't still get to your desired destination from there, but why take the long route when you can take the expressway? Because we are not building a life on misread data anymore. We are building on truth. Now, let me pour into you real quick. This is the part of the show that I love, where I speak to the queen in you. Yes, queen, that's you. Come on up, front and center. Hear me with your whole heart when I say this. You have simply been hopeful. And hope is beautiful. But hope without discernment will have you pouring into places that were never assigned to you. Queen, you do not have to shrink to be chosen. You do not have to audition for consistency. You do not have to convince someone to rise to the standard you already live by. You are not bad at choosing. You are not naive, and you're not crazy for seeing the good in someone. You are discerning. But somewhere along the way, you started overriding your discernment with your desire. And that doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. You saw potential, possibility. You saw what it could be. But queen, you cannot build a life on what could be. You build a life on what consistently is. You do not struggle with standards. You struggle with giving grace beyond the pattern. And grace is beautiful. You know that. We talk about it all the time. Grace is beautiful until it becomes self-abandonment. You do not need to gather more data, have not one more conversation. You don't need not one more sign, okay? The pattern has already spoken, and deep down, you know it. You are not called to fix potential. You are called to align with provision. And that kind of love that reflects God's heart towards you will not require you to shrink your expectations to receive it. It will meet you at the standard you live by. So stop negotiating your knowing. Stop overriding your intuition for temporary comfort. You are not too intense. You are calibrated for overflow. And overflow does not chase, it attracts. Stand in who you are becoming, because the woman you are growing into does not argue with patterns. She adjusts access. Now, straighten your posture and position your crown, because that crown doesn't tilt for inconsistency. Okay? Okay. Friend, there will be another moment, another test, another temptation, another almost. And when it comes, I don't want you asking, is this too much? I want you asking, does this match the woman I'm becoming? Will this support her? Standards are not walls. They are filters. And when you stand, what remains is what aligns. The moment your standards cost you something is not the moment you lose. It's the moment you level up, and that is integrity in motion. Ooh, friend, this episode right here, this might be my favorite in the series, okay? If this episode met you where you are, share it, save it, and revisit it when the test shows up. You are not waiting for better, you are becoming aligned for it. And remember, being confident enough to disappoint might be the most loving thing you ever do, because every time you choose alignment over attachment, you strengthen the belief that you can trust yourself. The moment you reconnect to your standard, self-trust deepens. Stay unavailable for self-abandonment. stand. And I'll be right here when you do.